Why is it that you can binge watch an entire Netflix series for 6 hours straight, but can't focus on a single chapter of a book without reaching for your phone? It's not willpower. It's not discipline. It's electricity. Right now, your brain is generating electrical waves, and the frequency you're operating on determines everything. Whether you're anxious or calm, scattered or focused, creatively alive or mentally dead. Today, we're decoding the 5 types of brainwaves that control your mental state. By the end, you'll know exactly which frequency you're trapped in and how to shift into the one that actually serves you, the mechanism. Before we dive in, think of your brainwaves like the gears in a car. Low gears give you power for climbing hills. High gears give you speed for the highway. You wouldn't try to drive 100 miles per hour in first gear, and you wouldn't try to park your car in 5th gear. Your brain works the same way. Each frequency is a different gear designed for a specific purpose. The problem isn't the gears themselves. It's that most of us are stuck driving in the wrong gear for the road we're on. So let's break down the 5 gears of your mind and figure out which one you're stuck in. Gamma waves. Let's start with the fastest gear, your overdrive mode. Gamma waves. Gamma oscillates between 38 and 42 Hz, the fastest your brain can go. And when you're producing gamma, you're not just focused. You're in what psychologists call a flow state. This is where time disappears, where a problem you've wrestled with for weeks suddenly collapses into clarity, where you're operating at a level that feels almost superhuman. MIT tracked experienced meditators and found something remarkable. During their deepest concentration, their brains were flooded with gamma activity. This wasn't relaxation, this was peak mental performance. You've been here before. That moment when you were so absorbed in something challenging that 3 hours felt like 30 minutes. When you looked up from deep work and couldn't believe how much you'd accomplished. That was gamma. But here's why most people never reach this state anymore. Gamma requires sustained, undisturbed focus. And modern life is designed to fragment your attention every 90 seconds. You're not broken. Your brain just hasn't been given permission to reach its highest frequency, beta waves. Now, let's talk about where you probably are right now. Beta waves. Beta runs between 12 and 38 Hz. This is your default awake and thinking state. When you're problem solving, having conversations, making decisions. You're in beta. And beta isn't the enemy. Mid-range beta around 15 to 20 Hz is actually where productive work happens. This is execution mode. This is getting things done. But here's where it turns dangerous. High beta. High beta is 25 to 38 Hz. And this is where chronic stress lives. This is your mind spinning on the same thought loop. This is anxiety masquerading as productivity. Harvard researchers tracked people with anxiety disorders and found they spent significantly more time in high beta than people without anxiety. Their brains were essentially stuck at a frequency that generates worry. And here's how you know you're in high beta right now. You're watching this video, but your mind is already jumping to your to-do list. You're thinking about that email you need to send. You're planning dinner while trying to pay attention. Most modern humans spend 12 to 16 hours a day trapped in high beta. We wake up thinking. We go to sleep thinking. And we wonder why we feel exhausted but can't turn our minds off. The problem isn't that you're in beta. The problem is you never leave. Alpha waves. This brings us to the frequency most people have forgotten exists. Alpha waves. Alpha oscillates between 8 and 12 Hz. This is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. This is where creativity lives. When you're in alpha, you're relaxed but alert. Your mind isn't grinding, but it's not asleep. Ideas flow without force. Solutions appear without effort. Stanford researchers studied creative professionals and found something consistent. Their breakthrough ideas didn't come while grinding at their desks. They came during alpha-dominant states, walking, showering, sitting quietly. Einstein reportedly did his best thinking while sailing. A perfect, alpha-generating activity. Relaxed, present, not trying to force anything. You know this state. You're an alpha when you're in the shower and suddenly solve a problem you've been struggling with all week. When you're on a walk and a creative insight just appears. When you wake up and, before your thinking mind fully engages, you have a moment of perfect clarity. But most people are alpha deficient. We never give our brains permission to drop into this frequency. We're either grinding in beta or collapsed in exhaustion. We skip right over the state where our best thinking happens. Theta waves. Now we go deeper. Theta waves. Theta runs between 4 and 8 Hertz. This is that twilight zone between being awake and asleep. This is where your subconscious becomes accessible. When you're in theta, vivid mental imagery surfaces. Childhood memories appear. Emotions you've been suppressing come up. This is where your brain processes what your conscious mind can't handle. Yale studies on sleep showed that theta waves during REM are crucial for consolidating learning. Your brain is literally rewiring itself, integrating everything you experienced into long-term understanding. But here's what most overthinkers don't realize. They avoid theta, because theta is where uncomfortable truths live. Carl Jung called this meeting the shadow, the parts of yourself you've been hiding, even from yourself. The theta state is where you encounter what you've been running from, the anger you've been suppressing, the fear you've been denying, the truth about yourself you don't want to admit. Most people prefer the noise of high beta because, at least there, they can stay distracted. Theta demands something harder. Honesty. But this is also where healing begins, where genuine insight emerges, where you stop performing and start being real with yourself. Theta is uncomfortable, but it's also where transformation happens. Delta waves. While theta heals your mind, delta is absolutely non-negotiable for your body. This is neutral, your engine at rest. Delta waves run between 0.5 and 4 Hertz, the slowest brain waves you produce. This is unconscious, dreamless sleep. And this is where your body repairs itself. When you're in delta, your immune system is restoring. Your muscles are recovering. Growth hormones are releasing. Your brain is clearing out the metabolic waste that built up during the day. Without delta, you don't get real rest. You might be in bed for 8 hours, but if you're not reaching delta, you're not actually recovering. Research from the University of Chicago is brutal on this. Delta deprivation leads directly to cognitive decline. Less than 6 hours of quality sleep means insufficient delta production. And without delta, your memory consolidation breaks down. Your emotional regulation deteriorates. Your decision-making suffers. Here's the brutal truth. If you're scrolling social media at midnight, you're stealing your own delta waves. That blue light suppresses melatonin, which prevents deep sleep. And without delta, your brain can't repair itself. So you wake up foggy. You reach for caffeine. You push through another day in high beta. And you wonder why you feel like you're thinking through mud. You're not just tired. You're measurably less intelligent the next day. Here's what's actually happening to most people. They're trapped in high beta. Stressed, reactive, exhausted. They've lost access to alpha's creativity, theta's depth, and delta's restoration. And they wonder why they can't think clearly anymore. Your brain wasn't designed to operate at one frequency all day. It needs to move through these states. But modern life, the constant stimulation, the screens, the demands, keeps you locked in high beta from the moment you wake up until you collapse. But you can change this. Not with some complicated protocol. Just by understanding what generates each frequency. Morning. Build gamma through deep work. No phone for the first hour. One challenging task with complete focus. Let your brain reach peak performance before the day fragments you. Midday. Drop into alpha. Take a walk. Sit quietly for 10 minutes. Let your mind wander without forcing productivity. This is where your best ideas are waiting. Evening. Allow theta. Journal. Reflect. Don't immediately numb yourself with entertainment. Give your subconscious permission to surface. Face what needs to be faced. Night. Protect delta. No screens 1 hour before bed. Let your brain complete its natural descent into deep, restorative sleep. Your brain is capable of extraordinary things, but only if you let it operate at the right frequency. Most people are driving their minds at one speed all day, then wondering why they're burned out and mentally exhausted. The question isn't whether your brain can do this. It already does. The question is, which frequency are you choosing today?